Carmen Asako is not, but he is. He is. And I don't know where Giancarlo is. He's shoveling my snow. It's Carmen Asako, the coach, and the Hall of Famer from OSG Sports in Atlanta, John Freeman Nelson. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Carmen, I still didn't get my Christmas presents from you, Hanukkah presents. Where are they, Carmen? Where are they?
He didn't get his Nino Diversa, coach.
You didn't get it?
No, I didn't get
sent
it.
It's in the mail. It's in
No,
the
I don't
mail.
trust mail. I don't trust mail. All right,
It's in the mail. Check.
let's get to it. The only one who predicted Argentina, or there's two people on this panel. Two people on this panel who predicted Argentina, and the one person who did not pick, he picked like Croatia or Poland to come through in the tournament. All right, I'll start off with Coach Carmen Asako. Let's get to the World Cup final. What a match was that? And I'm gonna say you've seen a lot of matches. Okay, was that the best World Cup final you have seen?
Well, other than 06 and 82, because
Yeah,
of
you're
obvious
biased.
reasons. Yes, other than 06 and 82, I would say yeah, that was the best match that I've ever seen as an impartial viewer. So it had everything, fantastic, it had everything, and just Mbappe kind of had 3 minutes of incredible play, and he just had moments, and yeah, it was incredible to watch, and it was just as far as entertaining value, it was amazing, and as far as the narrative, absolutely. As far as the happy ending, the fairy tale ending, absolutely. As far as what's gone on since, kind of leaving a bad taste in the mouth of all the Argentinian people, but I guess people celebrate in different ways. But yes, other than 06 and 82, this is the best World Cup final I've ever seen.
Now I'm going to ask you, and then we'll go on. First of all, hi to Giancarlo. Refereeing, Carm. I'll start with you. In the final, was it up to snuff?
I think so. I think so. I mean, obviously, it's not only it's kind of a referee with a partner, referee VAR. The other thing I did see, and someone could someone could maybe clarify this for me, but the Argentinian third goal in the extra time, the overtime, the first action was offside. There wasn't a question of that. The second action was not. On the goal, everything that happened. And I just, if there's any referees out there, why did they not deem
one referee's on the panel. He just came in. He's a referee. Go ahead and ask him.
Yeah, but he doesn't even know what an encroachment line is. But so what I'm saying, that first action was deemed, I guess, not part of the final action. But
right, and that's where it was.
But as far as the whole build-up, I mean, sometimes VAR goes back to 2 minutes to find a foul that sort of happened to discount a goal. But in this case, there's an offside, which, funny enough, they didn't even show the replay that much of that offside. So the offside that led to the goal that was not offside kind of left a little bit of a head scratcher there.
Who scored that goal, Carm?
Lionel Messi.
And wasn't this whole tournament built around him and winning the tournament? And
careful.
And Argentina, hold on. And Argentina couldn't hold a 5-minute lead in extra time.
Yeah,
that's on their defense. That's not on Lionel Messi, though.
Well, I mean, a PK, and Mbappe scoring, 3 PKs in the game was amazing as is. But so yeah, the situation was the situation. I was just questioning that only, but I think the referee got most of it right. That first PK I thought was correct. And in the end, I don't think he was a main factor in what happened as far as the result was concerned. And 2 penalty kick wins for the Argentinians in the finals was in the quarterfinals and finals was appropriate. So good on them. Congratulations. And, now let's see how they move forward. But I don't know how Mbappe and Messi are gonna have a relationship when they get back to PSG.
Yeah, I know that first home match at the Parc de France. That one's going to be a fun one.
All right, John, what did you think of the match overall? Go
Oh,
ahead.
obviously it was one of the best. It was the best final, I think, regardless of sport. I think that we've ever seen, at least in recent history. And we've had like straw polls and everything. I mean, it's like, okay, well, what do you think about this? And a lot of folks are saying, yeah, it's the best ever. I mean, think about the ebbs and flows that you had. Think about all of the storylines and the plot and everything that was attached to it. No, I think it was the best one. And I know a lot of Argentina fans who were on the edge of their seats for the entire time, wishing this one forward for Lionel Messi. And so, no, it was by far one of the best finals I've ever seen. You got your fairy tale ending, and how much of a fairy tale was it that when Argentina flew home on AR 1915, you had people applauding when they hit the tarmac. You had 4 million people in Buenos Aires for the parade. Thing is that Buenos Aires only has a population of 3 million people, and they had to stop the parade because it was so far out of control. And helicopters couldn't even help you to get players in. And they deserve the party that they're having right now. It's been 36 years.
All right, Giancarlo, who was what we say is a referee youngster on the staff. Giancarlo actually texted the goaltender, and he won the goalie of the tournament and put the glove, where Giancarlo. That's a bad example that you're sending to the goalie there. So go ahead, Giancarlo. What did you think of the match?
Yeah, it was entertaining. Shocker that Messi got that penalty early. I was surprised.
Come on, stop.
It was like Zidane's penalty against Italy. Like, who would have thought, right? I thought it was a little soft, but overall, like, I didn't really mind. Like, I wasn't rooting for anyone, obviously impartial, but as the game goes on, it's kind of hard not to root for Mbappe, what he was doing late in the game and rallying that team, putting them on his back, gets a hat trick, goes to penalties. Even in the penalty shootout, 3 times against the goalie, scores every time, just calm and collected. So if they're going forward, I know the narrative was around Messi and like greatest of all time status and all that. That's all nice, but Mbappe, if he continues his trajectory, that conversation is going to be short lived. So what he impressed. He has a World Cup at 19. He has a World Cup final at 23. Messi didn't have that, so if Mbappe continues to win,
all right. So
conversation's not going to last long.
Couple final questions. I'll start off with you, Giancarlo, since you're the troublemaker here. So overall, World Cup in Qatar. What did you think of it as a whole tournament? As there was a lot of problems going in, going out, but what did you think overall of the whole tournament?
No, it was entertaining. Unpredictable a lot of times. We saw a lot of upsets, so I think it was good in that sense. European teams, this is their mid-season, so it's a different style of play. Like the quality, I was surprised that it took a while for them to get into it, but it's going to go back to the summer going forward. I don't know if they'll experiment with this in 2030 or 2029 because they did say they're going to try and do it every 3 years. I don't think that's going to happen in the World Cup.
So, absolute mistake if that happens. But FIFA's chasing the dollar. We know that.
So summer, I think, is the right way to go, even though the winter had the most upsets.
All right, and Giancarlo, I know you're texting me. John Nelson is actually wrapping your Christmas Hanukkah present. All right, so he's actually wrapping and all that.
Absolutely, that is absolutely true.
See,
legit, that is absolutely true.
All right,
I hope I get one of those. I hope I get one of those plates in the background.
Hey, Carm, careful now because this is the boss's childhood bedroom, and we've been doing shows from here in minus weather. Yeah, this is her childhood bedroom. So there's no hanky panky with the language. Okay, this is the boss's childhood bedroom.
That's a whole new show altogether, Johnny.
All right. Let's keep it G-rated here. John, what did you think of the overall tournament? Go ahead.
I thought it was a mistake. I didn't think that the host country deserved it. I'm not identifying the host country by name because of how they acquired it. I thought that FIFA made a massive mistake, that FIFA was chasing the dollar. Once again, not a surprise that they would do something like that. And I don't like the idea of the tournament happening this time of year because it breaks up your rhythm in all of your leagues around the world. I'm a fan naturally of chaos when we get it. But, in the end, we end up with the fairy tale. And I think that you have a lot of nations who have a lot that they can build on going forward. And that, for me, is the big part in all of this. It's like, I know we're looking at the shiny objects, but I think that you look at a Morocco, who's now number 11 in the world when it comes to rankings. And you look at what still gets me is how Brazil's number one when they didn't even make it to the final of the tournament. So, FIFA gonna FIFA. It was in the host country for a reason. We all know what the reason was. I thought they had no business hosting it. I still think they have no business hosting it under any circumstance. But we got the fairy tale ending, and that's what matters.
All right, Carm.
Yeah, I mean, from people that I heard that were actually there, they loved the experience. They said that it was just an incredible cultural event as well. And for everything that's politically was, absolutely not right about the situation. There's a lot of stuff that, like the hooliganism. I thought the all that stuff in the stadium, whether or not they were drinking or not, I think that that kind of affected it. There was a lot of different factors where I thought it was a little bit more uh, tamer, and beyond everything else, I thought the football made up for a lot of what was going on outside the field. There's a lot to be condemned, and in the end, I'm not so against Qatar hosting now after the show they did put on.
Oh, that's another
Um,
show. That's another show entirely.
yeah, well, it could have been the same old in the U.S., but that'll happen next year. So whether FIFA, kind of made amends and said, okay, the capital of the world, here's your World Cup again. Uh, but I think that in the end, I thought, Saudi Arabia, their whole world there, 4 hours from Qatar, the situation with Morocco, I thought all those things were positive outside of the Eastern perspective of things. And obviously, it's tough for me to understand what that perspective is. But they everyone that I talked to that was there really loved it. They loved it. They loved the atmosphere. They loved and they said there was a big party. They said it was worlds coming together. And that's refreshing. A lot of times World Cups get flawed and scarred by what happens off the field as well. Whether it's, we'll call it the lack of morality that happens in other countries, or and the hooliganism and all that stuff. I think that was a bit averted. I think they had some incredible state of the art initiatives that will continue on. And again, I'm reaching, but the whole stadiums being reusable, stadiums being put up and down right away, are things that were positive. But I think the most positive was the effect that the football on the field had on everything else. And I thought the football on the field was just a great story and a great time. So, as much as I was scratching my head as John was about Qatar, I was pleasantly surprised with the number one, the presentation, number two, how everything went about, pretty much clean, and in, and I know it's unavoidable, but avoiding the political part of it, I thought they did a good job, and it's probably one of the best World Cups on the field that we've seen in a long time.
Okay. Two final questions. That was one of the Norm Rumack answers. Come
I'm
on.
leaving. I'm leaving a lot of that alone in the Christmas
That's
spirit.
that's what I'm doing. All right. So two final questions. I'll start off with John. In 4 years, it's Canada, Mexico, and America. America getting to the second round. What do they have to do to improve in 2026? And then I'll go to John Carlo and Carmen about Canada. But you go ahead, John, first.
I just think that you have to continue to improve your spot. You've got to go at least one more round further. I think that with this group being in the mid-20s to late 20s that you're seeing right now, I don't think a semifinal should be out of the question when it comes to your demand from yourself. But obviously, improve upon what you did in the host country, and I think that's probably the biggest thing to say.
All right, Giancarlo, you'll say start us off with Canada. Go ahead. By the way, congratulations to Davies, Canadian Player of the Year there. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think for Canada, it's going to be like hard to even assess it. Like you have to see how they play. Like Copa America is going to be another one to be a good predictor for the next World Cup. There's so many young players that are in the system right now, and it's going to come down to that, like how they develop them and what's their trajectory like. Are they going to play in Europe? Are they playing in MLS? So it's Canada. It's kind of hard because they're all phasing into a new generation. Like Hutchinson's going to probably be gone. Vittoria's going to probably be gone. Borjan. So it's going to come down to how they develop in the next 2 years before you can predict the next World Cup result for them.
Carmen's friend Marty Roberts has chimed in, wants to know if Giancarlo is going to be at Market Lane for Italy or Canada in 2026. Go ahead.
He's going to be at Nino Diversa for Italy.
All right. Carm, you guide, and you're going to guide some players to the 2026 tournament. Future looks bright, but what do they have to do? They scored a couple goals, but let's see if they could win 2 matches, get to the second round. That will be a big accomplishment in 2026. By the way, I don't know if I heard this correctly, but 4 matches. I hear 6 matches to Vancouver, 4 matches to Toronto. That's what I have heard. What have you heard the same thing, Carm?
I have not. I've not. But Vancouver's an excellent football city. I honestly would assume that Toronto would get the 6 and Vancouver the 4 because of just the diversity in the city and and I think that it would make more sense. Not saying that Vancouver's not culturally diverse, but compared to Toronto, I think there's definitely a lot more diversity, cultural diversity in Toronto, and I think that it would be an incredible event, and it will be an incredible event moving forward. But as far as Canada's concerned, I think it's more of the same. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how John Herdman. I don't expect John Herdman to leave his position or vice versa. I maybe he was going to get an opportunity in the championship, but a little bit of his
I hear other people are saying that he's gone.
I just don't think the CSB. I don't think CSB and CSA, which is CSB now, have the economic means to give him 4 more years for doing nothing. That's the reality. There's a lot of political imbalance in the CSA, CSB with players and the governing body. So I think all that needs to be resolved. And I know the president Bontis has kind of found himself in a pickle, something inherited. And there's just a lot of different political maneuvering even outside. Everyone looks at CSB as the bad guy, but they just made a very savvy business move. And at the time, CSA was in dire straits and probably on the verge of bankruptcy. So there's a lot that needs to change as far as the infrastructure. There's a lot that needs to change as far as the political things behind the scene and the serenity. And until a lot of that drama and that soap opera fluff gets resolved, we still might find some hard times. But I think on the field, this taught a lot of players a massive lesson. And I think that a lot of the players that Giancarlo talked about with Atiba and Boyan and Stevie, I think moving forward, they're going to be perfect examples what's next. So what's coming up next? And now it's going to be a test of the infrastructure. Now it's going to be a test to see how our grassroots systems and our high performance systems have developed players for that next level. And that's not going to that has yet to be determined. Right. So you look at some of the kids that got drafted into the MLS. Freera, Stephen, and Malcolm, and the Mo kid. These are like top players in NCAA, and hopefully they're going to get a sniff right away in the MLS. But our system and our development system will have a lot to do on how these kids, uh, if these kids make an impact in the MLS and with the national team. So a lot to be determined, but a lot needs to be changed as far as the political side, the infrastructure side, um, the women's side of the game. But we're talking about the men right now. But on the field, they have a lot of players that are going to be at their best by the time 2026 comes, and hitting their peak, whether it's David or Davies or some of the other groups, Laria. These guys are young, hungry kids, and they're just going to get better as they move on. Yeah.
In behind me is BMO Field, where they're going to play some World Cup matches. Like I was speaking off here, looks like in 2024 they're going to put 22,000 more seats in here. About 53,000 going to stay capacity now. There it is. I don't know where they're going to put it. Probably that way, or more from the CNE food building, so Carmen doesn't have to go to the food building all the time. So there it is in 2024, more 22,000 more seats, going to be about 53,000 at BMO Field. I hear 4 games coming to Toronto, 6 in Vancouver, and all over the States and Mexico there. And don't forget, the ladies World Cup happens in summertime of next year. We'll be all over it. Now, here's the final question. I know Giancarlo wants me to ask this, so I'm going to ask this, and we'll be quick because I know Marty Roberts wants to send an email to Carmen, because we got now Carmen Asako at hotmail.com. I don't know if anybody's seen that. That's his actual email address. He has it on air and all that. So I'll start off Giancarlo.
I didn't see
Messi
that.
won the World Cup. Messi, who is Messi, Ronaldo? You've been talking about this for years. Is it Messi, Ronaldo, or any other one? And let's give a shout out to Pelé. His health has worsened. Of course, in my estimation, Pelé, best soccer player ever. But Giancarlo, you'll start us off. You're a youngster. Who, in your eyes, does this allow Messi to be the top? Or are you going to say Paulo Rossi or the goalie from from Italy, Juventus? Go ahead.
Buffon is the greatest goalie of all time. I'll keep it at that. And yeah, just Messi does give him some bragging rights. He has a World Cup, but that doesn't mean that Ronaldo's not as talented or didn't have an excellent career. He won an international trophy first. Messi won the World Cup, so obviously Messi gets a bragging rights for now.
All right. So, and let's go to John, and Carmen's coming back in. But go ahead, John.
Messi over CR37, and if you needed any doubt, if you had any doubt coming into this tournament, it's Messi over CR37 without question.
All right. Carm?
No debate.
No debate.
No, there's no debate whatsoever. As far as Messi putting himself at the godfathers of football, world football, and football history. He's there. He's on the Mount Rushmore right now beside Maradona and Pelé, and I think the rest have yet to be determined. So, but again, there's all kinds of players that have made an impact. I mean, Beckenbauer, but I think that Messi has found his place on the Mount Rushmore of greatness for sure.
All right. So as we close this out, I want to take the couple minutes to say season greetings, Merry Christmas. I'll start off with Giancarlo. He's like I called before, Rookie of the Year and all that, but he was one of the lifebloods why we built the Fired Up Network. I'm happy to see him growing and growing with TFC, going to match games, match reports, doing match reports, going on the field, media passes with Yorick, also now with Sportskeeda. And sooner or later, John, he's going to be in an MMA octagon against Conor McGregor. But again, all the best, Giancarlo. Merry Christmas. I'm expecting my Hanukkah present very soon. All right. So John Freeman Nelson. What can I say about John Freeman Nelson? Hall of Famer. We started it first, John. Okay, you know this. The president of the provinces of Canada.
PPC,
And
baby, there it is. It's
Carm, I know.
PPC.
I owe you a thank you because you have nominated me. Now I'm under nomination as the mayor of North America, but
Damn
without
it.
John Freeman Nelson, honestly, every time we call him up there, he's a Hall of Famer. He's from Atlanta, and he's one of the best. We're so proud to have him. Merry Christmas, and to you and your family and everything like that. Really,
Thank you, my friend.
John, Rookie of the Year, John Carlo, Rookie of the Year, John Freeman Nelson, a Hall of Famer. Merry
Old dude.
Christmas. And what do I say
Johnny-
about
Yeah.
Johnny, is Berhalter and Reina having Christmas dinner together?
Well, I know that. I'll tell you this: it ain't going to be Claudia GB. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
All right, Carm interrupts me when I'm
All right.
actually being
Good job.
sentimental
Merry
here.
Christmas,
No,
everyone.
hold on, Carm. Hold
Use
on.
my Hotmail. Use my Hotmail.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So I want to say one thing to not many companies, be it TSN, ESPN, or anybody else, can have an actual coach on any show here each and every week, much like John and John Carlo. He comes
A
on
master
here.
coach.
Head
Master coach.
Yes, headmaster coach and everything like that. We're
Sensei.
beyond honored to have him here. And again, from our family to yours, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and by next week is hopefully New Year's Eve. You cut your hair, okay? So you got to look more representative if I'm going to get you a job in the EPL and the La Liga and the Super Liga and whatever Liga and all that. And you could drive to Nino da Versa and let's
Nino
have
da
some
Versa.
dinner. And let's have some dinner paid on John Carlo. He actually is the cheapest guy. He hasn't paid for anything. So, paid on John Carlo here, all right? So, any last comments? I'll go to you, John Carlo. Any comments you want to make to the fans here?
Happy holidays.
Look at John Carlo. Simple. All right, John, go ahead.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody. Please be safe and keep an eye on your family, keep an eye on your pet, keep an eye on those you love, especially with all of the wintry conditions going on in this half of the planet right now. So just keep an eye on everybody and make sure that you keep an eye on one another, and we'll be back at it again before you know it. And that's the best kind of representation that Carm can have right there, brother. That's an MVP.
Carmen never looked so good. Go ahead, Carm.
God bless everybody. God bless. Have a doggone great holiday season.
There you go.
Now, do you want to have Utah cheer? Come on, start singing some Christmas songs, Carm. Come on.
No.
Nah. I'll jingle my way out of here.
Let's jingle our way out of here.
Gosh.
Happy Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to all the fans out there, listeners and viewers. And these three guys have made independently this soccer show and OSG Soccer down here one of the best and must tune in soccer shows in the world. And again, Merry Christmas to you all. Be safe. And Carmen and John Carlo, John, expect big time presents from me, okay? The president of the provinces of Canada. Stay tuned for more great programming here on the Fired Up Network. Thanks a lot, guys.
Here's the box.